back. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us here at Austin Coming Together, the Austin Community Hub, and this month's wonderful Hub 101 guest, Legal Aid Chicago. My name is Janelle Martin, and I'm the Hub Coordinator here with Austin Coming Together. Today, I am honored to be joined and co-hosting with the awesome engagement coordinator with us here at Austin Coming Together. This is Imani Moore. We're so excited to have him here. He'll be chatting along with us later. Imani, do you want to say hello to everyone?
Good morning, everybody. Well, good afternoon, everybody.
As some of you may be familiar with Austin Coming Together already, ACT is a backbone agency for collective impact, serving a network of nonprofit, faith-based, public, and private member organizations. As part of Austin Coming Together, the Austin Community Hub is a safe space to intentionally and thoughtfully engage disconnected families and individuals in collaboration with our member base to help securely connect community members to holistic services such as career counseling, housing, continuing education, and today it's all about legal resources. Part of these services include informing our community members about the different organizations that we work with, so we created Hub 101s.
Thank you, Janelle. So today we will be discussing how you can access free legal services with Legal Aid Chicago, whose mission is to seek justice for people living in poverty. Through litigation and advocacy, Legal Aid Chicago's team full of full-time lawyers and staff fight to secure individual rights to affordable housing, basic health care, fair working conditions, protection from abuse, and economic stability.
We are going to start with a quick presentation from Legal Aid Chicago. If you have any questions or concerns during the presentation, please feel free to toss those into the Facebook chat. We have somebody monitoring it, and then we are actually going to do a live Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So we are going to be able to answer all your questions at the end, so please be sure to toss them in. We'll get to them. With that in mind, I would love to introduce Barbara Serven. She is the incredible Associate Director of Community Partnerships with Legal Aid Chicago. We are so excited to have her on today. Barbara, let me go ahead and give you sharing capabilities, and it is all yours.
All right. Thank you so much, Janelle and Imani. Hi, everyone. Happy afternoon. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Hub 101. As Janelle mentioned, my name is Barbara Serven. I'm the Associate Director of Community Partnerships at Legal Aid Chicago. And part of that role is working in exactly this type of sphere, working with our community partners to make sure that our community knows what we do and how we can support and help people in need of our services. So thank you guys so much for having me today. We're really excited to get the word out through this partnership. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and everybody should be seeing a PowerPoint, and this will just be a visual presentation of the services that we offer here at Legal Aid Chicago, and I will talk everybody through everything. So that's just my name, title, and today's date. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. So about Legal Aid Chicago, unlike criminal defendants, civil litigation participants, so if you have a civil case in court, you are not entitled by law to a free lawyer. If you have a criminal case, if you're charged with a crime, you are guaranteed an attorney, and that means you can get a public defender. That's not the case in civil cases. So groups like Legal Aid Chicago exist. We are a private nonprofit, and we provide free civil legal services to people with limited income in Cook County. You will see a little asterisk next to limited income. I'll go into that more to help you understand whether or not you would qualify for our services. And the services that we offer will help you secure economic stability, affordable housing, your personal safety, fair working conditions, and basic healthcare, among other things, as Imani mentioned earlier in our mission statement. So what does that actually look like? Before we go into the exact specifics of what we do, I just want to share some of the positive outcomes that we had over the last year. So the impact that we had in 2021 was huge. We handled more than 12,900 individual legal matters. And that includes everything from just brief advice of like, hey, here's how you can handle this situation. This is what you need to do, to full representation throughout a court process. We helped over 22,000 people that were impacted. So that means clients and their families. And that was just in 2021. Additionally, through that impact, we increased folks' income, assets, and decreased their debt by over $19 million. And that broke down to an average of $13,000 of an average financial impact per client that we assisted. And just to remind everyone, we serve Cook County. So that's a huge impact. There were 1,100 individuals whose health was improved because they were able to access health and nutrition benefits like Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP. We helped more than 1,000 children and adults improve their safety through orders of protection, restricted visitation, relocation of housing, and other various legal services just to make sure that people are safe. And then again, in 2021, we helped over 1,300 people avoid homelessness by avoiding eviction, foreclosure, or obtaining or keeping their subsidized housing. Additionally, we expunged or sealed almost 4,000 criminal records in Cook County. So that's a huge impact, and we want to be able to help impact your life. So I'm going to take you through what we do, how we can help you, and how you can reach us, and how you can get help from us if you think that we can offer some services to you. So as Janelle mentioned, if you have questions, please be sure to put them in that Facebook chat. It's really important. You've got an open forum here, and I want to be able to help you out. So how do we help? There are 3 ways that you can reach us. The first way is by calling us on the phone. Our phone number for our intake line is 312-341-1070. Again, I'm going to say it one more time, 312-341-1070. Our phone lines open Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we can take a limited number of phone calls a day. So you'll call us and leave a message, and someone from our intake team will call you back. You can go online to our website, legalaidchicago.org. And at the top right, you'll see a button that says apply for services. And you can submit an application that way. It'll take you through a web page that says, what's your legal issue, and ask you some questions about yourself. And that will get routed to the same team that answers the voicemails, and someone will reach out to you. Additionally, we host community clinics and help desks, and you can just walk up to them. Currently, most of those are virtual because we are still trying to navigate how to go back into the public sphere after the pandemic, and as we navigate this potentially end stages of the pandemic. But they are also operating virtually, so you can call and set up an appointment. I'll go into that more later on. But when you call us, apply online, or visit one of our clinics or help desks, we'll help by doing one of the following. At the very least, we'll get advice and a referral. So let's say you just have a relatively simple legal issue that we can just say, hey, this is what you need to do. We'll just advise you on how to do it. Also, if it's a legal issue that our office doesn't handle, we will give you brief legal advice and refer you to someone who may be able to handle that issue. If you're taken on as a client, we will advocate for you and negotiate on your behalf. And then if your case calls for it, we will represent you in court or any other proceedings that your case calls for. Not every case means that you have to go to court, but if you do have to go to court and you're one of our clients, we'll be there for you. So who do we serve? Cook County residents with limited income, but what does that actually mean? So I'm going to break it down step by step. So if you live in Cook County and you're a Cook County resident, that's the first step. We do accept statewide clients for victims of human trafficking. So if you are a victim of sex trafficking or labor trafficking, you don't have to be a resident of Cook County. You would still qualify for our services. If you are a migrant or agricultural worker, or if you're a veteran, you can live anywhere in the state and you would still qualify. So limited income generally means you have to have you have to fall at 150% of the federal poverty line or lower. And that's a standard that's set by our funders. However, there are higher income limits for different groups. If you are a veteran, if you are living with or impacted by HIV or AIDS, or dependent on what our funding says at the time, you may fall into a higher income limit. And that income limit is usually around 500% of the federal poverty line. And that's a pretty big jump. And that covers most people in Cook County. However, if you are a senior citizen, meaning over the age of 60, or if you are a survivor of domestic violence or sexual violence, there is no income limit. So you can just call us and we can see if we can get you in. One big caveat though, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows this is not reflective of any personal values that we at Legal Aid Chicago hold, but it is something that our funders set forth. One of our major funders is the Legal Services Corporation, which is a program through the US Congress, and this is a restriction set forth by them. In order to receive services from Legal Aid Chicago, you do have to be a US citizen, a permanent resident, a survivor of violence, or fall within certain other special categories of immigration. There are a lot of those exceptions. So if you're not sure if you fall within one of those, please just go ahead and call our intake team. Because if you remember, I say that even if you don't qualify, at the very least, we will give you an advice and we will give you advice and a referral. So even if we can't help you out, we will find you someone who can. So you look at those intake requirements and you say, all right, I need all of those. And you decide to call us. What happens next? This is a weird little diagram, but it explains the process of what happens when you actually reach out to us. So let's say you're this blue little dot. You are the applicant. When you call us and leave that voicemail and that first arrow, you'll reach what's called our client screening unit. The first looks like a dog cone almost. So that's what the client screening unit is. And they are going to funnel through all of those phone calls and they will call everybody who leaves a message back on the same day they leave that message. They'll ask you questions about your income, some basic questions about your legal problem, and they will ask you about your US citizenship status. If you qualify for our legal services, they will then refer you to what is called our practice groups. And our practice groups, it's like when you go to the doctor's office and they say, oh, you've got a skin problem, I'm going to send you to a dermatologist. Or, you know what, we'll have to look at your brain. We're going to send you to a neurologist. It's our specialty groups. So they'll send you to the specialty group that handles the legal issue that you have, and they will set up another interview with you. And that interview will be much more specific and tailored to the actual legal problem that you have. After the practice group interview, that practice group as a team will decide if we are able to take your case. And if we are, we get to that little endpoint, big blue bubble of legal representation. And just so you know, anywhere along this spectrum, if we realize that we cannot take your case or you don't qualify, we are still going to give you that advice and referral. So phone calls are returned the same day. If you are referred by a partner organization, or if you apply online, your contact is returned at the day and time that you choose in your application. And just so you know, language will never be a barrier when you contact Legal Aid Chicago. I'm speaking to you in English today, but that's not the only language that we can help you in. We have on-site interpreters for Spanish-speaking clients and for Polish-speaking clients in our intake team. But if you speak a language other than those languages, we will use a telephone interpreter through Heartland Alliance, and we will make sure that someone can speak to you in the language in which you are most comfortable speaking. Additionally, if you are deaf or hard of hearing, we work with the Chicago Hearing Society to schedule American Sign Language video attorney. All of that information is confidential if it's just the two of you. Having an interpreter present stays confidential. So we are going to go into what we actually do. These are the practice groups. I mentioned that we have our legal areas of expertise, and these are the teams that we work with. So we have a housing practice group. We work within children and family law, immigrant and workers' rights, consumer law, public benefits, criminal records relief, and long-term care. And I'm going to break down each of those, and they're going to be broken down in a way that just all of the issues kind of make sense. So first and foremost, we have our children and families team. Children and families focuses on cases where someone's personal safety or access to education is at risk. So that means we take protective order cases. So if you need an order of protection, a no contact order, a stalking order, we take those cases. If you are in need of a custody order, a guardianship order, or in need of a divorce, and that issue involves domestic violence, that is something we may be able to help with. We also assist with DCFS investigations for parents and other caregivers. So if you're a caregiver for a child and you're being investigated by DCFS, we can help you during that process. We also work with Title IX cases for sexual harassment, sexual assault, and bullying in schools. And we work with special education, so IEPs, 504s. If your child is in need of one, it's not being properly administered, or the school is not properly checking to make sure they don't need one, we can assist. And school discipline. And that includes push out, suspension, expulsion hearings. We represent kids in those processes. So that's our children and families practice. Again, personal safety, access to education, children and families law. Consumer, it's a fancy word for money and debt. That is what this practice group focuses on. They focus on cases that impact someone's ability to keep their housing and utility service. And we especially work to protect people with limited income from unfair debt collection. Unfair debt collection is rampant these days, so our consumer team has been hard at work fighting that. We take utility cases, and that includes electricity issues, gas bills, water bills. We work to get your bills straightened out with those. If your wages are being garnished, we help people file for bankruptcy. We work with car title and payday loan issues. Those often involve unfair debt collection, especially the payday loans, so we can assist with those. And then just other general unfair debt collection. If you think that you are being, your debt is being collected in an unfair or predatory way, give us a call. We may be able to investigate and assist. Student loans. Now, I'm not saying that they can just get rid of your student loans, because if they could, I have 105 staff attorneys on my team that would love to just get rid of the student loans. But what we do is we help with any of those student loans that have been found to be fraudulent, or they were given out under false pretenses. A lot of case law is coming out regarding student loans being unfairly administered, and we can assist with those. And then a final practice group within the practice group is called our low income tax clinic. Don't let the name clinic mislead you. It is actually on staff attorneys. And what this clinic does is, if you have an active dispute with the IRS, so if you get a letter saying you're being audited, or if someone else filed a tax return in your name, you can absolutely call our low income tax clinic, and the attorneys on that team can help sort it out. Criminal records relief. This practice group is near and dear to my heart, as this is the type of law that I used to practice. We provide full representation in court for criminal records within Cook County, and we also work to expunge juvenile records. So juvenile records and adult records are separate things. They happen in separate courts, they are governed by separate bodies of law, and they actually appear on separate documents. But we work to get rid of both. So we can help people in Cook County with expungement, sealing, alternative forms of relief. So if you aren't eligible for expungement or sealing, or if you're applying to a job that needs an extra layer of something like a healthcare worker waiver or a certificate of good conduct or relief from disabilities, we can assist with those. And all you have to do to get started is go to the Chicago Police Department at 35th and Michigan and get your rap sheet. An attorney in our office will then analyze your record, determine what you're eligible to have expunged or sealed, and we'll work to get it done. And I feel like we've made a lot of progress through this, so I just want to remind everybody that all of the services that I am talking about are completely free to the client, completely free. So if you have a legal issue and you're scared of the cost of getting a lawyer, and that's what's holding you back from getting legal help, don't let it dissuade you. Give us a call. Our services are free. So let's talk about housing. We want people to have safe housing. We want people to have affordable housing, and we want people to have housing where their rights are being protected. And that's whether you're a tenant or a homeowner. So for tenants, we can help low-income tenants who are facing eviction from subsidized housing. If you are at risk of being terminated or rejected from the Housing Choice Voucher Program, we can assist as well. We know how hard it is to get those vouchers, especially in Cook County, but particularly in Chicago. So if you have a voucher and you want to hold on to that and you're at risk of losing it, please call us. We want to find a way to get you to keep that. If you've been rejected, we can help you with the appeals process. If you are facing housing discrimination, and whether this is in public, private, or subsidized housing, we can assist. And when I say housing discrimination, what I mean is if you apply for an apartment and you've been denied and you think it's because you're a woman, or if you've applied for an apartment and you think that you are denied because you have some form of disability, or because you wouldn't flirt back with the landlord, we actually have testers on our staff who will go out and investigate. And while that's happening, we will also proceed on your discrimination claim. Additionally, we take some other tenants' rights issues cases. So if you are experiencing a housing rights issue, please just give us a call. If you are a homeowner, we can assist you with foreclosure, loan modification, tax sales. So that's a sale where you may be facing the loss of your home because of back taxes. We can step in and try to help you out there. And if you're a victim of home repair fraud, we can assist you there. So I know a question that comes up a lot is there a minimum? Like, I was only defrauded of about $1,000 in this home repair job. This guy said he was a roofer. He didn't do my roof and he ran off with my $1,000. There's no minimum. If you are a victim of a home repair fraud, please give us a call. That is another issue that is increasingly common in Cook County, especially among senior citizens. And then one very specific housing issue that we work on is housing advocacy for folks who are impacted by or living with HIV or AIDS. So if you personally are impacted by or living with HIV or AIDS, or if you're a household member of someone living with it or impacted by HIV or AIDS, we will work and fight to make sure that your housing rights are protected. Okay, immigrant and workers' rights. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water. Our immigrant and workers' rights team focuses in 4 main areas: employment, immigration, hence the name of the team. We work with human trafficking survivors, and we work with migrant workers. So the types of cases that we accept: unemployment insurance benefits, wage claims, if you're not being paid your overtime, or if they're withholding your paycheck, those are wage claims. Employment discrimination or wrongful termination, much like housing discrimination, we will look into that for you. Discrimination is wrong. If you are facing discrimination at work or at home, think about us, give us a call. For immigration, because we have that restriction from our funder that I mentioned earlier, we have a limited scope of types of immigration remedies that we can offer. We do not do general immigration. So if you're here and you're just looking to get a green card, that's not something that we assist with. We will refer you to a partner organization. However, what we can help with is VAWA, which is Violence Against Women Act entry. A U visa. So if you're a victim of crime, we can assist you with a visa for that. And a T visa, which means if you were the victim of human trafficking, we can assist you. Additionally, we work with migrant agricultural and landscape workers across the entire state of Illinois to just ensure that they are having their legal needs addressed. That's a population that, especially because they migrate in and out based on where the farming season is at the time, they'll come up here in the summer and go down south in the winter just because of where things are growing. Very often their legal rights are not being adequately protected. We actually go out, we have a whole team who goes out into the farmlands to meet with the workers and make sure that they are being treated properly and that they are being treated legally. And then additionally, much like with the migrant agricultural workers, statewide, we will work with survivors of human trafficking to make sure that their legal needs are being met and that we are advocating for them every step of the way and in a holistic legal sense. We have a public benefits team, and the public benefits team wants to help people get and keep their benefits so that we can all get the basic needs in life. So we will take SNAP cases. So if you need food stamps, medical assistance, Medicaid, Medicare, TANF, AEBD, Social Security, SSDI, SSI. We can help you apply. We actually have a public benefits outreach and enrollment team, so we can help you apply for any of these benefits. If you're denied these benefits and you think you should have been approved, we can help you appeal. And if you've been overpaid, or if they say that they need to reevaluate to see if you're getting paid properly, we can help you through those systems as well. Additionally, within our public benefits team, we have what we call our Veterans Assistance Group. And our VA team helps with VA benefits. So VA benefits from the Veterans Administration, and that includes discharge upgrades. So if you're a veteran and you were discharged dishonorably, you think it should just be a general discharge or an honorable discharge, we may be able to assist. And then our last practice group, it's our newest practice group. We call it the Long-Term Care Practice Group. And they work to protect and improve the quality of life for residents in long-term care facilities. So what the long-term care team does is actually go into assisted living and long-term care facilities in suburban Lake and Cook counties. This is the only practice group that does work in a county outside of Cook County, but not statewide. And they meet with residents and will investigate complaints about the quality of care, the residents' rights, administration of Medicaid, abuse and neglect, guardianship, improper transfer, discharge. And they just want to make sure that everything is being done properly. This is a vulnerable population, and someone needs to be there to advocate on their behalf. And this is what that team does. They go into the facility, they meet the residents, and we are guided by what the residents tell us. So if a resident says, I haven't been fed in 3 days, we actually will work with that resident and we report it back to the state. So this is the only practice group where we are not currently taking outside referrals. Like if my grandmother were in an assisted living facility, I can't call and say, I need you to represent my grandmother. But I can tell my grandmother about it, say when they come, meet with them. You can also call the hotline and just say, hey, you may want to look into this facility, and they'll make sure that they check it out when they go. But it is directed at the request of the resident in the facility. So those are the practice groups within the inside of Legal Aid Chicago. But if you recall, way back at the beginning, I mentioned that there are some help desks and clinics. So let's talk about the help desk. Our help desks in the before times, so before COVID-19, kind of shut everything down for a bit. These were actually open all the time in public, but now you do have to call to see if we have in-person hours. I recommend calling anyway, just because even if there aren't in-person hours, you can set up a virtual appointment. Our first help desk is our bankruptcy help desk. So if you're looking to file bankruptcy, but you just want to do it yourself, you're filing pro se, which means for yourself, you can give us a call and we will help you through it. The juvenile expungement help desk is for exactly what it sounds like, juvenile expungement. If you have a juvenile record and you would like to get it expunged, you can go see the juvenile expungement help desk. We are physically located inside the juvenile courthouse at 1100 South Hamilton. So it's great if you are a juvenile and you are closing out a case. If you are in juvenile court and your case is dismissed or your probation is terminated and you know there's no wait period, you can just walk over to that desk and help out or help yourself and talk to an attorney right then and there. But let's say you're 30 and you've got a juvenile case from back in the day and you want it taken care of. You can still go get help there. The phone number is 312-229-6072. And you can find out if there are in-person hours, and if not, how to get an appointment, because we want to help everybody get their record cleared up. And then our last help desk is the federal court pro se help desk. We call this the Hibbler help desk. And at that help desk, it's a little different because we don't actually offer legal advice in the sense of telling you what to do in your case of, oh, this is a great argument. At the federal court pro se help desk, we'll tell you what to do procedurally. Federal court is incredibly complicated. I've been to federal court a few times and it is very overwhelming, and I've been a lawyer for a while. So what we do is we will help people figure out how to navigate that system. We will not analyze your case and we will not give you advice on the substance of your case. But we will tell you, okay, first you need to file this paperwork, then you need to file this paperwork. This is the motion that you need to file. So it's procedural advice rather than substantive. Additionally, we have community clinics. And these are great if you're unable to make a phone call during the day or unable to take a phone call during the day, but you know that tomorrow, Wednesday, September 24th, I've got time at 5:30. I can go over to the Diego School in Ukrainian Village, Humboldt Park. That's great. So at our legal clinics, our community clinics, we have one in Woodlawn, we have one in North Lawndale, we have one in Uptown. Those three are still currently operating virtually, and we are hoping to get them back up and running in public soon, but we're still kind of playing them by ear to see how the in-person clinics are going. Now, I mentioned the one at Diego School at 1313 North Claremont Avenue. We actually have this clinic up and running tomorrow night. It's from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Diego School. It's on that border of Wicker, Humboldt, and Ukrainian Village. Masks are required. So the way the clinics work is if you have a legal issue, you can just walk in, and there are volunteer attorneys along with staff attorneys who are there and able to give advice and offer solutions. Sometimes they will say, hey, you actually qualify to be a client, let's take you on. Sometimes they'll say, hey, you know what, this is a really quick legal issue, let's knock this out right now. So the clinic is a great place to go get in-person, one-on-one legal advice. And then just a couple of special programs I want to call out. These do fall within the larger practice groups that we have at Legal Aid Chicago, but because of how nuanced they are, they kind of deserve their own special shout out. So first we have something we call the ADAPT program, and ADAPT stands for Advanced Directives and Property Transfers. It's a lot of fancy words for what to do with your property and yourself at the end of life. So the first thing that we do in the ADAPT program is called a TODI. It's a transfer on death instrument. So if you own a home and you don't have a full estate plan, let's say you don't have a will, you don't have a trust, but you know you want to leave your home to Amani. Amani, you get my house today. So I don't have time and I don't want to make a trust, but I want to leave Amani my house. I can go to Legal Aid Chicago and an attorney will help me fill out a TODI, the transfer on death instrument. And I can go file it downtown. The only cost to me is paying the filing fee. It's $50. So I'll go file it at County Clerk Yarbrough's office. And if I pass away, Amani just has to go file an acceptance. It's another one-page document, and the house is his. So I have protected my house by leaving it to Amani, and I've created generational wealth. Another thing we do in the ADAPT program is called a living will. This is not a will. This is not leaving property to anyone. Sorry, Amani, you only get my house. The living will is a document where you get to say, or I get to say, whoever's living will it is, what your end of life medical care choices are. So how long would you like to be on life support? Do you want to be on life support? What do you want to happen in what situation? We also do powers of attorney so that someone has the ability to make healthcare, financial, and property decisions for you in the event that you are unable to do so. Another special program we have is called the LGBTQ Anti-Violence and Safety Project, LASP for short. And we provide comprehensive legal services to LGBTQIA+ survivors of domestic abuse. And we can assist with protective orders, family law matters, education and training specific to the LGBTQIA community. But additionally, we can do name change petitions. So it's a lot of the same services that we offer throughout the rest of the agency, but with that extra level of care that we know comes with the LGBTQ community and the additional service of name change petitions. And then last but not least, we have the CLASP program, Comprehensive Legal Assistance for Survivors Project. And that is where we offer free legal services for victims of sexual assault. And I feel like this is an important time to call out that everything we do with a trauma-informed care approach. We take everything very seriously, everything is confidential, and we will approach everything as gently and trauma-informed as we can. We do also have social workers on staff who can assist when they need to. All right, here's what we don't do. It's really important what we do as a team, but you also need to know what we don't do. So if you have one of these matters and they're your only legal matters, it's not necessary Criminal defense, we cannot do criminal defense. Call the public defender's office. Personal injury law, medical malpractice, and workers' compensation cases, we don't do those. Additionally, we don't do traffic violations. We don't go to traffic court. We don't do private pension cases, and we do not do general probate. So I was just talking about the ADAPT program where we do toadies and powers of attorney and living wills. We do not do general wills, nor do we do estate planning. So if you have one of those issues and no others, we recommend that you call Carpels. It's an attorney referral service, and their number is 312-738-9200. You can see it on your screen, and they will be able to refer you to someone. But if you have a legal issue that we at Legal Aid Chicago can assist you with, hopefully I've mentioned it in one of my previous slides. Here's just a nice reminder of how you can reach us. Give us a call. Our line's open at 8 o'clock in the morning. Call us close to 8 as you can. Call 805. If you're by your phone, give us a call, leave us a message. Again, that number is 312-341-1070. Go to our website, legalaidchicago.org, and click Apply for Services. And if you go to our website and click on Get Help, you can actually see when and where our clinics are. So that is an overview of Legal Aid Chicago. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and stop my share, and I'm going to remit control back over to Janelle and Imani.
Thank you so much, Barbara.
You're so
That was
welcome.
fantastic. Lots of information there. As Barbara said, anybody, if you have any last minute questions, please feel free to toss them in to the chat now. We are going to start answering some. I do have a couple already pulled up. So let's see, we have somebody who is wondering, when it comes to legal services, are you able to assist with current legal assistance, or is it everything that's just previous and past?
So I'm not sure exactly what that means by previous and past. So if you have a pending legal issue, if the case is not closed out, we can definitely help. If you have a case that's closed out, so like criminal records cases, the criminal case has to be closed for us to do anything. So it depends on what the type of issue is, because every type of case closed and open means something different. But generally speaking, you have to have an active situation going on for us to take the case. Like, for example, domestic violence. If the domestic violence was 15 years ago, you're likely not going to be able to get an order of protection. So if it's not still ongoing, there's not much we can do.
Okay. No, thank you so much for answering that. Let's see. Next, we have, so someone noted that they understand that legal aid services can vary from state to state. They want to know if they have a case in one state and then another case here in Illinois, can whoever they're working with here in Illinois assist them also, or be their contact for the other state issues as well?
So all of our attorneys are licensed in Illinois, so we can do the cases here. What we will likely be able to do is look to see if we can find a referral for the case outside of Illinois.
Okay.
We do not take cases from other states because, again, we're licensed here in Illinois.
Yeah.
There are attorneys on staff who are licensed in other states, but we are not covered by our malpractice insurance in other states.
Okay.
So, but we will work to make sure that we find you a warm referral. We're part of networks of other legal aid providers.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, the next question is for home repair fraud. They want to know, is there a minimum amount that has to be defrauded from them in order to receive your services?
There is not. If you've been defrauded through home repair, call us. We want to know.
Sweet.
I hope no one's been defrauded because it's an awful situation, but there is no minimum. So please give us a call and we'll see if we can assist you.
Great to know.
We have a question from Dev Wolverine. They want to know, someone had attacked them. They want to know if you would be able to assist pressing charges, or is that somebody you would refer them to the public defender for?
So that actually wouldn't even go to the public defender. That would likely go to the state's attorney's office. So if someone attacked you, you do have to fight. And if you're looking to press charges, you need to go through the police. What I would recommend is, depending on this person's relationship to you, if it's a romantic partner or a roommate or someone else where it falls into a domestic violence situation. And I don't want to ask any questions here because that is such a personal situation. But if it is a romantic partner, if it's an intimate partner of any kind, or a roommate or a family member that is domestic abuse, that is domestic violence, please give us a call and one of our advocates can assist. We will also contact the state's attorney's office in situations like that. But if you were just walking down the street and it was one of those situations where a random stranger attacked you, that's something that you would just need to go to the police. You can contact a victims' rights group and they may be able to send a caseworker advocate to go with you.
Okay. And on to tag on to that, I know there are also resources and organizations based here in the Austin area that focus on, victims of violence and survivors of violence and what that looks like. If you are interested in any of those resources, please feel free to reach out to us here at ACT. We are happy to get you connected with them as well. Let's see. Do you want to take the next one?
Sure. Do toadies take care of anything relating to loans, mortgages, or homes, or are those taken care of separately?
So the toady physically just moves the home. If there is still a mortgage on the home, you got to keep paying that. So the mortgage wouldn't actually transfer. There's a separate process you have to go through with that. It's my understanding. And I actually will say that I haven't done one of these all the way through. So I'll recommend that you contact our team. That was not my area of expertise as an attorney, but it will transfer the home. So the deed or title, whatever step of the way you're in with ownership of the home would be transferred. But basically the bank doesn't care whose name the mortgage is in as long as someone's paying for it.
Okay, so no, short answer, no, long answer, reach out to legal aid and they'll be able to assist you with the process or at least inform you what to do.
Right, because it also depends on what type of mortgage there is, what type of interest you have in the home, and whether there are like reverse mortgages or equity payments. So the toady transfers ownership of the home instead of it defaulting to the state or having to go through probate.
Okay. That is good information to have. This is a little bit of a question that I also have. Earlier you mentioned that for apartments, if somebody is feeling that they were discriminated against when renting an apartment, you will send apartment testers in. And then you mentioned when it comes to the long-term care facilities, if there's a complaint, sometimes you will send people out there as well to, investigate and address. Are those testers similar, or what's the difference between those two processes?
So those aren't actually testers. Those are our staff attorneys, our paralegals, our caseworkers. So what we do with the fair housing testers is it's almost like secret shopping. Okay. So we would actually apply for an apartment and see how that process goes. That's a little more difficult to do in the sense of an assisted living facility because we're not going to put a fake resident in there. But and as I mentioned, we are directed by the wants of the resident. Some people may say, even though I'm being treated a little unfairly here, I have all of my friends here. My whole life is here. It's in my neighborhood, whatever reason people have for staying in that home. So the investigators will meet with the residents. They'll talk to other residents. It's more of a traditional investigation when you think of investigative casework. Whereas the testers are more of like a secret shopper process while we also investigate the case.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for putting out those differences. That is very helpful.
Okay, I hope that made sense.
Yes, no, appreciate it. And then it looks like we have one other question right now. So please, anybody, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, toss them in there. If not, we can always reach out to us, but we do still have some time. So this next one, it looks like I think you've already answered it, but they want to know if you work with domestic violence representation, auto accident litigation, or loan recovery.
So we do domestic violence representation for the plaintiff. So we do not do defendant representation. So if someone's taken out an order of protection against you, we don't take cases to help you defend against that right now.
Okay.
However, if I were in a situation and I needed to get an order of protection against my partner, or if my child were being abused by my partner and I needed to seek one on behalf of my child, yes, we help with those cases. Auto accident litigation would be a personal injury case essentially, and we do not do those. And then loan recovery, I would call our consumer team. Again, it depends on the type of loan and the situation in which you need to recover it. But yes, generally speaking, we do work with unfair debt collection, and loan recovery issues often fall within that sphere.
Okay, perfect. Do we have any other questions, comments, concerns from anybody on Facebook? Please feel free to toss those in. Barbara, is there any last minute info or like tips and tricks that you would encourage any residents who are looking to connect with you, who may have questions, any things to consider?
I would just say that, first of all, always feel free to call us. I'm going to say the number one more time, 312-341-1070. We are a judgment-free zone. So I know a lot of times people get really nervous, really hesitant with a lot of legal issues. And it can be for a variety of reasons, whether it's criminal record representation and they just say, oh my gosh, I don't want to deal with this part of my past. We can help you deal with that. Like don't hold yourself back. We can help you move forward. If it's a domestic violence situation, that can be really, really difficult to overcome and to face and to move on. But we take everything very seriously, and we will work to ensure the best outcome for our clients. And you won't be judged. We will do our best to approach you with care. And as I mentioned, we do have those social workers on staff as well. So we really are here to help, and we want to help. So please just call us. If you have questions, call us. As I mentioned, we do have that community clinic on Wednesday, September 21st. So I know this will be recorded and posted on Facebook. So I don't just want to say tomorrow, because if someone watches it too late, they may miss it. But on Wednesday, September 21st, we will have that clinic in Wicker/Humboldt Park. So if anyone wants to walk in and ask some legal questions, that's what we're there for. So at the DiDiego School at 1313 North Claremont Avenue from 4:30 to 6:30, just put on a mask and come on in. And that's a school requirement. They do want us to wear the masks there. But we're here for your questions. We're here to help you out. And we know the legal system is complicated, but that's why we're here, because we want to make it easier for people to get through.
Thank you. The work you do is incredible. It's extremely impactful and necessary. And we are so grateful to have you as a partner and member in the work that we are doing as well. And to any residents who may not be able to make it to the legal clinic, again, that is tomorrow, September 21st. If you're not able to make it, but are still interested in services with Legal Aid Chicago, please feel free to reach out to us here at Austin Coming Together. You can reach out to me, the hub coordinator. My number is 708-529-5042. Again, that is 708-529-5042. You can also connect with Amani, our engagement coordinator. He is out in the community talking with residents, getting to know everyone. So if you see him out in the street, this is the wonderful face you got to look at.
Yes,
Come and bother him. He loves talking to people. So if we don't have any other questions, comments, or concerns, toss it out there one last time. Okay, I think we are good. Then that is a wrap up for our Hub 101 today. And again, I just wanted to put it out there. Big thank you to Legal Aid Chicago. You're incredible. If you would love to get in contact with them, Barbara has provided the info. I will be sending out contact information. You can also reach back out to us here at Austin Coming Together. And just thank you so much for everything you do.
Thank you for having us. We love having you guys as a partner, and we hope to do this again soon.
Yes. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.